Before you say a single word, a stranger has already looked at you and decided how competent you are, how confident you are, and whether or not you are worth their time. This entire process is over in less than 10 seconds. Psychologists call this mechanism thin slicing. It is a biological drive to take a tiny window of physical data and rapidly extrapolate it into a conclusion about someone's character. To test the accuracy of this reflex, researchers showed participants completely silent 2-second video clips of teachers they had never met. The viewers had no audio, they had no resumes, and absolutely no context. This timeline shows the result. Based on those silent fragments, the viewers predicted how those teachers would be rated by their actual students months later. The predictions were nearly identical to the real-world evaluations. Since this judgment is an automated biological response, you are left with a choice. You can either deliberately control the data you broadcast in that window, or leave your perceived value to chance. The clock starts the moment you are visible. During seconds 1 and 2, the judgment window begins closing before you are close enough to begin a conversation. In this phase, the brain scans your physical geometry. It measures the openness of your posture, the trajectory of your eye contact, and the spatial momentum you carry as you enter. This diagram shows the disproportionate impact of those first moments. A brief entry outweighs the next 7 minutes of interaction because it sets the filter through which all following information is processed. You cannot easily use conversation to fix a flawed physical entrance. The effective strategy is to engineer your approach before you ever cross the threshold. As we move into seconds 3 through 5, the focus shifts from your movement to your stationary physical presence in the room. When nervous, most people leak energy through micro-movements. They subtly adjust their clothing, shift their weight from foot to foot, or touch their face. The observer's brain is highly sensitive to this excess movement. It processes physical fidgeting as internal discomfort, which it then codes as low status. You can counter this by practicing absolute stillness. Holding a grounded, stationary posture works effectively, even if you feel significant internal anxiety. The most self-assured person in a room moves the least. They do not chase movement or physically overcompensate to fit in. They let the environment adapt to them. Standing perfectly still sends a calculated biological signal of competence and control directly to the observer's nervous system. We reach the final phase of the window in seconds 6 and 7. This is typically the moment a question is directed toward you. Silence often feels dangerous or exposing. Because of this fear, most people rush to fill any gap in conversation as quickly as possible. Rapid speech signals a reactive state. It broadcasts an immediate need for the listener's approval, suggesting you are uncomfortable with the tension of the silence. You can shift this dynamic by making the deliberate choice to hold a 2-second pause before you deliver your answer. This pause communicates a high level of composure. By refusing to rush, you signal that you are comfortable holding the floor, which suggests that the value of your response does not depend on a quick, validating reaction from the listener. Owning this 2-second gap shifts the perceived authority of the response. The spoken words remain identical, but the pacing changes how the message is received. This process happens in every area of your life. You are being thin-sliced by interviewers, by romantic dates, and by new clients in every single room you walk into. The playbook for these 7 seconds is chronological. Master the spatial entrance, maintain physical stillness, and own the deliberate pause. These 3 tools provide the mechanics needed to direct your own external narrative rather than letting it be formed by accident. You are left with a binary choice. You must either actively direct the first slice of an interaction or accept being the victim of someone else's split-second judgment. Tell me about the fastest you have ever judged someone. Was your intuition correct, or were you right?